let's go over Grooves and the Groove Pool. We can show it by clicking the selector button here. And now I can view the built-in grooves by either right-clicking or holding Control and clicking within the Groove Pool, and then selecting Browse Groove Library. Grooves allow us to give clips a little more of a humanistic feel, audio and MIDI in real time. So I already had them pulled up in the browser, and the Mpc Grooves are some of my favorite presets. So before we apply a groove, let me play some of these clips so you can hear what they sound like. First we have some drums, very straight, then a bass, has a little bit of a feel to it, and then a piano that's also very straight. Next we have a drum clip that has lots of feel to it. A very straight bass, and a very swung guitar. So my goal was to pick some clips that we typically wouldn't put together. They kind of clash with their timing and their groove. So one of the main ideas behind using grooves is to make clips sound good together, have them work together. The easiest way to apply a groove is by dragging it directly onto a clip. Let's do the drums, the bass, and that piano. So now let me launch all these and we can hear what that groove has done. And now I'm going to turn down the global amount to 0 so we can A/B what it sounds like with and without. So it's a little subtle, but at the same time, it's making it feel completely different. We can see after dropping that groove onto the clip, it's been loaded into the Groove Pool. And if we double click on a clip, we can see it's also been selected in the clip box. We could now commit this groove, which will warp this audio clip, and we can see exactly what it's doing. So here we can see the 8th note hi-hat being moved just so slightly to the right. If I hit undo, you can see him move back. If we drag the groove right into a MIDI track, we can actually visually see exactly what this groove is doing. The 8th notes are just a little behind the grid. So now let's go back and use hot swap mode to try out different grooves. It's a little more swung, even more swung. Let's do something very aggressive. So I like something back in the 60s area. Something like that. So now let's take a look at the individual parameters within the Groove Pool. The first one is bass. This is very similar to when we quantize audio or quantize MIDI. We're selecting which subdivision or which bass amount to move our audio closer to. Next, we have Quantize. The Quantize in the Groove Pool is a pre-groove quantize. So, if we had a drum clip that was a little bit out of time, we can quantize it to the bass amount before applying any groove. Next, we have timing. And again, this is very similar to quantizing audio or MIDI. We're selecting the percentage or how close we move it to the bass amount in that groove. So at 100%, we're making it exactly match the groove that we've loaded. 0 is turning any groove as far as timing off. So if I hit play, we can change this timing amount from off all the way to 100%. Here's off, we can slowly increase it and add groove to those clips. Okay, and we're applying that groove to all those clips in real time. Next we have random, and this is humanizing our timing. So I'm going to hit play and introduce some random, and you can hear how it makes it just a little further away from perfect. So at 100% it's pretty bad, but somewhere in the low teens is pretty good for this application. Next we have velocity. Grooves contain both timing and velocity information, so we can actually match our clips to the velocity settings within the groove. We can do it in a positive, or matching it, or we can do it in a negative value, or making it the opposite of what's in that groove. Finally, we have a global amount, and this is controlling all the parameters as a percentage. So at 0, this groove is doing nothing. At 100%, we're applying exactly what we see in the groove pool, and we can go all the way up to 130%. So I'm going to put it back at 100%, and now I want to show you how we can extract a groove from one of our clips. It can be either audio or MIDI. So first, let me play this drum clip. Let me slow it down a little bit. We can match the BPM of the clip. So I want to apply that groove to these other clips. Luckily we can. I'm going to hold Control and select Extract Groove. So now that Funk Dr. Groove is in the groove pool. And we can apply this to both our bass and our guitar. We could also see it by dragging it again onto a MIDI clip. Here are notes and our timing values. And then we also have our velocity value. We could edit this and then do a control click and extract the groove again and create our own preset. Alternatively, after changing all the parameters we wanted to in the groove pool, we could hit the save button and recall that later. So now let's see what this groove has done to our other two clips. Let's turn it off and compare. So that bass needs a lot of help. Let's turn it back on and see how it tightens everything up. Let's try increasing the quantization amount. Maybe changing the velocity too. And just for fun, let's turn this all up to 130 and see exactly what it does. So that's actually a huge improvement over what we had. Again, let me A-B the two, on and off. So we have completely changed the feel of these three clips playing together and tightened them up. And that's Grooves and using the Groove Pool in Ableton Live 9. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.